Good evening. I want to welcome you to the historical Jacinto Courthouse. This courthouse was a very, very important part of the northeast Mississippi that we now presently know as Alcorn, Tishomingo, and Prentiss counties. In the early 1800s, the three counties made up one county, Tishomingo County. In 1850, the Mississippi legislature saw fit to split them up in three counties, the present Alcorn, Tishomingo, and Prentiss. Jacinto at that time was the county seat of the old Jacinto County. But when these counties were split up, the courthouse fell itself into Alcorn County, so Tish County had to go to Iuka and build them a courthouse. Prentiss County went to Booneville, and eventually this courthouse was shut down around 1855, 56, and moved to Corinth, where it presently is now the county seat. But we want to welcome you here this afternoon on this beautiful sunshiny day. You just can't see the sun, but it's shining. But we want you to come on in and make yourself at home. We do have one ruffian here we need to... This was the courthouse, just like any present-day municipal building, would house as many offices. This was the office of the Board of Police, or the town marshal, the sheriff, whatever we want to call it, and the road commissioner. We had road commissioners back then. Most of the work was done all by mules and by hand, very little mechanized machinery at that time. Most of it was mule powered. You can see a lot of these are all original bookcases and tables and everything that we have in the courthouse in the present time. They were here then. But this was this part of the Alcorn County, our northeast, was a jumping part of North Mississippi. It had a college, several businesses, and several residents that lived in Jacinto at that time. And the courthouse was sort of caught up by the word called progress. When they split the counties up, the courthouse just went to what it is now, a tourist attraction and something for the old counties to be proud of. The next room down here, I think, would be occupied by the judge. This would be the judge's chambers, and this is where he would work. When they had court, this would be his office down here, and it's sort of self-explanatory. Again, all the furniture is the same as it was in the 1800s. And you might notice the heating and air conditioning in here. Every room has got its own fireplace, and air conditioner as you open the window. You might notice the floor. This was the original floor that was put in when the courthouse was built. It has not been changed out. It's brick and bedded in sand, and it's been here a long, long time. We'll come over here, and this was just another office room. We don't know really what it was designated for, but it was just another room maybe for county administrator or the tax collector or whatever. We don't really know. And again, you notice, like I said, every room's got its own fireplace. And so, we'll just move on around a little further. You'll notice that the pews that are here, all the furniture inside the building is original. It's been upgraded a little bit, repaired to get it more usable, but it was here on the start. In Alcorn County and Tishomingo County in the 1800s, we had many business owners, prospects, new start-up businesses. A lot of them was in the holler hills and the hollers of northeast Mississippi. And you can see this was one of the business owners' businesses he had set up that fell to the sheriff, found them one time, brought them to the courthouse. And, you see the movie on TV now, the Moonshiners, they wasn't the first ones. But this is a working steel, it could be. here would be the hated tax collector and assessor's office. This was where nobody wanted to come to see the man, but this is where you paid your taxes in the county seat at that time. And again, it's the same furniture, you notice they had lanterns, color lamps at that time. We modernized it just a little bit, but this was the gathering place on weekend, on Saturdays. And the courthouse has been many things down through the years after the county seat. It's been a church. It was a school at one time, but it always came back to be the courthouse. And it's owned by the Jacinto Foundation. We're in the process of doing some renovation and upgrades to it. Nothing disturbing the history of it, just make it more presentable. It went unattended for a long time, but it's beginning to come back to shape. The board of directors and myself are hoping to get it back to what it was, where everybody can be proud of it and want to come down here. So the next floor hosts one of the most important places in the courthouse is the courtroom, and it's got quite a history. We'll go up the stairs. This room here would be the jury deliberating room. This is where they would come if they had a trial. And you can see it's pretty plain and simple. Again, with a fireplace, and it was just sort of down to earth and simple. And this is they tell us this is the original deliberating table that the jury should sit around to make a decision whether he was guilty or not. And this was the holding cell. This is where the accused were held to have their time to go before the judge. I don't think he had many people escaping because of some of the second floor. Some may have tried. But this is the centerpiece of the courthouse, as in any municipal building, county seats at the courthouse. They had many trials here. There were 3 capital murder trials held here in the courthouse here in Jacinto and in this very courtroom. And the unique part about it, if they found them guilty late enough in the afternoon, they would hang them that afternoon. But if it was later on in the day, they would wait until morning time to hang them. So it was pretty swift justice back then. There was a movie made here several years ago called Tomorrow. It starred Robert Duvall. It was somewhat of a hit. It's all black and white. He was a much, much younger man at that time. And there was another one a few years ago, Judgment, they called the name of the movie. It was filmed here with local people. But there have been a lot of judges sat here. Governors have been here. A lot of judges, even now, when they take office, they come here to take the oath of office. We've had several sitting judges in all Court County and Prentiss County have come here to take the oath of their office. So most everything in here, I think everything in here is the same. It's been all the time. You'll notice this is where the defense lawyers all had to say it. Jury boxes on each side, and it's pretty much the same as it was. And we've tried to keep it that way. We're going to try to keep it as historical as we can. And can you imagine the defendant sitting here looking out the window and the judge sitting up behind that seat? I think I know I would get real nervous, and there's a lot of famous judges have been in this courtroom and sat in this chair many times. I don't happen to be one of them. But they have been several trials here down through the years, even on up into the 1850s, at 55, 56, that they built the courthouse at Corinth. And hopefully in a few, maybe next year, we're planning on having a trial here with one of our local judges. And it's going to be quite an event. And to sit here and look out over the crowd, security wasn't real good. But you don't see the fancy desk for the lawyers to sit out there. We have pictures of them that they sit on, held all the material in their lap. Now they have computers, but computers wasn't around then. But basically, the courtroom has been intact about like it was when it was built in the early 1800s. Rumors is that one of the most famous outlaws of our time, Jacinto, was here one time. That he and his brother and the younger boys had come through this area posing as cattle buyers and was captured for some reason. And supposedly the rumor is, the fairy tale is that Jesse, when it come his time to be tried, he escaped out the window on the second floor and got away. Now, like this courthouse, and just like many other old buildings, there's a lot of stories about what happened. They tell us, and we've had some folks come by here to see the building, that at certain times of the year, certain times of the night, one of the gentlemen that were executed for committing murder here, you can see his picture. You can see him sitting looking out one of these windows up there. But it's always at night, so we'll be out of here before it gets dark, don't worry. A lot of stories about a lot of places, but everybody got their own theory about it. But there are a lot of history here at this courthouse. Like I said, it's played such an important part in Northeast Mississippi. The speaking on 4th of July around here is unheard of. The amount of people that show up, thousands of people show up from all over the state. This is the second largest political speaking held in the state of Mississippi each year. And it was often been said, if you're going to run for governor or statewide election, if you don't come to Jacinto, you ain't got a chance. And they really show up on the election every 4 years for the election. But there are lots of history here. I would encourage anybody to look us up on Facebook, on the history book, Jacinto Courthouse. I know I've missed a lot of the facts, but they are a lot of history. If you're living in either one of the 3 counties, it's your courthouse, it's your history and your heritage, and we need to find out all about it. We encourage groups to come and tour the courthouse. We've got picnic grounds on the property, and we encourage you to come and step back in history, because today, as we stand here, you're stepping back about 1850 time frame when he murdered, so, and you come here and see what it was like.